heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Summertime is here. Now through May 26th, enjoy USDA Choice Whole Beef Brisket for $3.99 per pound. All-natural bone-in pork shoulder for $1.88 per pound, 8-ounce USDA Choice New York strip steaks for $6.99 each, and Frito-Lay party-size chips for $3.88 as a congrats to all 2024 graduates. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Spring in Nebraska brings green grass and warmer weather, but it also brings severe storms which can cause damage to your home. Meadowlark Exterior specializes in hail, storm, and wind damage restoration, as well as roofing, siding, and gutters for commercial or residential buildings. Meadowlark Exteriors focuses on fine craftsmanship and proves that in their attention to detail. They offer free roof inspections and estimates and insurance claim assistance, serving the Lincoln and Omaha surrounding areas. Call today at 402-875-2956 or go to meadowlarkexteriors.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket. Every Saturday morning now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Welcome in to We Talk Facts with 9-year NBA veteran and Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer Erick and two-time Nebraska football national champion Clester Johnson. Talking and taking names in sports and day-to-day living. Sit back, relax, and join the show with 9-year NBA vet and Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer Erick Strickland. And two-time Nebraska football national champion, Clester Johnson.
Hello. This is We Talk Facts. We got Harrison Owens on the ones and twos, and the other host, Clester Johnson, streaming in. We will have Stricky Estrick 20. He'll be joining us shortly. But nonetheless, we got Clester Johnson in the meantime. Clester, how's it going on this so far pretty decent Thursday night?
I want to say this, Harrison. Thanks for being here with me. I want to also shout out everybody that's tuning in on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Allo. Are we Allo 960?
961, yep.
961. And we don't never thank the fans. Everybody who's chiming in today and you watch us from week to week or whenever we on, we just try to have a good time, and we want to bring that energy to you here today. Now, a very interesting show, Harrison. I got some topics that you and I could go in on until our brother Strick. Brother Strick is currently in the process of doing his O.J. Simpson impression. You know, he
Well, careful with that. Careful with the choice of words there. Which part? Which part?
he's in the airport, you know, jumping over couches and stuff, trying to check in and get through, you know, trying to get to TSA. He's trying to get through it all. So we're gonna hold it down until he gets here. Now, I want to show you a little something, Harrison.
All right, let's see it.
You see this right here?
Yeah, let's see. We got a nice collection. What is that? That looks like pre-Big Ten days for the conference switch over.
Absolutely. One of our subject matters, and we got some very, very good subject matters. And I want to invite anybody who's listening today, put something in the chat.
While he's in here.
Yeah, you know, put something in the chat if you want to join along in what we're talking about. Everybody has an opinion about this. One of the things I wanted to talk about was this, you know, this right here. We've had a lot of changes in these conferences over these last few years. And man, it has to make you feel some kind of way. Like there used to be some real strong rivalries. You know, I want to talk about that a little bit. Again, what will be the long-term effect of the constant changes? I mean, what does that do to the college fan? What does that do to recruiting? What does that do to NIL? You know, there's a lot of traditions when it comes to college football. And a lot of these realignments, these conference realignments have really done something, especially to me. Being a college football loyalist, being a college football true fan. And I can see my man Stricky. My man Stricky is now in here. There's some other subject matters we want to jump into. We want maybe later on we'll talk about Harper Murray, you know, volleyball player, maybe some of the things he's kind of gone through, what's going to happen there. And if we have it later on time, maybe we may even get into some P. Diddy. We don't know. But we want to introduce E. Stricky. Talk to people, Strick. Talk to him.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay, so here's the thing, man. Well, when you're talking about this new, the way that the conferences are being aligned, the taking out of rivalries, Harris and I was talking about something that's even adding to this, and I really want your thoughts on this, and I'm glad. Shout out to the Supernovas again. We didn't get a chance to celebrate the Supernovas, the first professional, one of the top professional organizations that, you know, set the tone for what Nebraska can do as far as their support for professional sports. Did a wonderful job. Shout out to you fans. And I was at the game, and you guys, you know, it was rowdy, it was raucous in there, and the ladies got it done. So shout out to Supernovas. But here's the thing. The Congress and the NCAA are in the midst of negotiations and agreements and battles and stuff that are being put together. And it deals with paying back. So Clutch, you might be in the mix, my boy. You know, Stricky was saying, hey, where mine at? Paying back roughly around 2.5 or 2. Harrison, correct me on that. Like 2.8 billion dollars of back, 2.8 billion of back pay to those for NIL that were part of the participation in the start of this process. So you never know. Check might show up in the mail. But here's the thing.
Reparations.
The power.
College reparations.
In a sense. But the key component to that, and I think this kind of ties in as well, but a key component to that has to do with the power structure, or the super conferences, or the power conferences, the Power Fives. They're basically saying the little boys, the FCS, the 1 AAA, the small conferences need to pay 60% of that. like how does that like so I saw your face. That's why I wanted to ask you, because is that right? Because you had a son that played in FCS. I said it's a lot deeper to it. I talked about monopoly. I talked about how it's like a Debo mentality, like they come in and Debo, you check your pockets, where your money at. and basically sticking you with the bill. Like they sticking the little boys, the little guys with the bill. I don't think that's right. But what's your thought on that?
You know, it all comes down to this, Eric. Whoever got the money and the power
can dictate.
They dictate everything.
Mm-hmm.
And either you get on board or you get stomped on. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these schools who don't have the power, how they're going to respond. Like, will they band together and come up with a solution on how they can come up and stay relevant? Or will they fold like a, you know, like a bad like a bad chair? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
like wheat like chaff in the wind.
You know, like will they fold like an old Mike Tyson opponent? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's always interesting to hear the initial stance on things and who will come up with the best solutions. But at the end of the day, it affects the fans.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you know, it's a trickle down. You know, you got the people at the top with the money and the power, and then it just comes down to how will the fans get involved and how will they show their support on how they think things should go. I think through this all these conference realignments, you know, nobody talks about the fan and how they feel about what's going on, because at the end of the day, the fans is what's driving, ultimately will drive the support. But, you know, obviously I know that there's big TV money that goes into this deal too. There's a lot of sponsorship money, but at the end of the day, you can have, you know, the fans drive the sponsorships. The fans drive how some of these people advertise. And I think if they start to see some resistance, you know, things will change.
Yeah, and so when you look at that, I mean, you're right. I mean, a lot of things have been unearthed over the past few years, and you're talking about realignments, new relationships, new partnerships. You're talking about new rivalries that are being. I know they're trying to keep them alive. You know, obviously, like for example, your Oregon States, they're trying to keep it alive by ways of, you know, just scheduling them on the non-con. But it's in some way doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel like you know, the rivalry for Nebraska used to be Oklahoma. It was, and then, you know, Colorado kind of popped in there a little bit, you know, but it was definitely Oklahoma, and now you don't see that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So you know, it's interesting you just said that, because I just had lunch with a group of doctors in Kansas City on Wednesday, and we ended up talking about sports, and a few of the doctors went to Missouri, and we talked about how Missouri is now a part of the SEC, and I was asking them how they felt about now Texas and Oklahoma joining. And then we got to talking about rivalries, and I'm going to tell you, again, as staunch fans, and these are doctors who support Missouri, they, you know, they're alumni, they donate money, and they do feel some kind of way because Missouri's natural rivalry is Kansas. Missouri and KU, they hate each other. Plus, they're border states, and they no longer have, you know, they have the rivalry. It's really strong in basketball, but in football, they really rival Kansas and K-State. I got to see that this year when K-State played Missouri. That's a respectful rivalry, and you can see a little bit of the hatred, but they said the KU, they cannot stand. And, you know, like us, you know, we grew up Oklahoma, Nebraska, the day after Thanksgiving. And, man, it don't feel right, man. It doesn't feel right anymore how a lot of these rivalries have just gone by the wayside. And it's really all due to money.
Yeah, and because here's the thing, like I think you hit something. You hit a sweet spot. because when I go around now, it feels very corporate-y. And I know that ain't really a word, but it's a fact. It's a fact. It's corporate-y. Like you remember, okay, just going back to the days, because you and I was in school together at the University of Nebraska, and just remember what it was like for the students. Remember, y'all had y'all little corner, the football and all the athletes in the corner where we would come in. That was like athletes' corner, and then all the students. It was just rowdy. It was raucous. All that whole lower bowl was just filled with students, right? And now some try to preserve that in a way, but as you move up the ladder, as you get more into, and it's real bad at football, but as you get more into higher levels or getting into the championships, it gets very corporate-y. You see all the corporate people down there, not the true essence of what fandom is about. You know what I'm saying? You don't get that and you said something about money. Was it really you think that's the spark of this whole change has really been about money? Because it's not about the fan anymore. I remember talking to Boston Celtics fans, when I was playing up in Boston, they were telling me about how it was in the original Garden, and you could get tickets for $15-20, and man, fans would be in there to the roof. I mean, they didn't care if they sat behind a pillar, because back in the old school, you had some seats you had to do like this. You had to lean over just to be able to see. Yeah. So why do you think that changed?
I'm going to say college football is obviously driving a lot of this, because when the Big 12 was starting to break up, initially when Nebraska left and Colorado left, teams like KU and K-State, Oklahoma State, they were scrambling to figure out where they're going to go, because they were not being courted by any other conference. And it really comes down to that football revenue. The thing that's weird to me is it no longer matters the geography of these schools anymore, because it's really weird to see West Virginia like a part of the Big 12 and BYU a part of the Big 12. And it really comes down to, I'm telling you, it's coming down to football revenue, how much revenue they can generate and pull together as a conference. Texas was a huge reason why the Big 12 broke up, because they were very selfish about how they wanted to distribute their money. They created the Longhorn Network that has nothing to do with any of the other teams. There was, they made the Big 12 championship in Texas.
Notre Dame is very similar.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if you look at the root of most of why these things are happening, it's about how much money we can get. It's coming down to the bottom line, because that money drives everything else in the university. You know what I'm saying? It's paying for a lot of these other ancillary sports that they're not making money. They have to keep up with what do you call it? What is it? Women's rights.
Oh, Title IX.
They have to fund Title IX sports. There's a lot that go into this money, okay? And I know with the SEC, they're very big about it. Whatever bowl you go to, all that money, it's all pooled in and equally distributed to everybody. And the fact that they've added now Texas and Oklahoma, that just gives them more money, because those teams are going to go to bowl games every year too. So,
no doubt. Harrison, jump back in, because I think Clester touched the tip of the iceberg, because we really dug in on this. And with what's going on, just maybe explain a little before we go to break, explain a little bit deeper as to what's going on with this lawsuit, because I feel that what you just said, Clester, is the reason why they're basically pushing this on to the little guy. They're putting the brunt of it is because it allows them to build bigger stadiums, build better facilities, deal with, other expansions within the scope of the sport on big campuses. And I also said, I believe that it has to do with a lot of enrollment. I think some enrollments are down. They're not like to the tune that they used to be. It's tight on budgets for people at this point. Some people don't want to go into debt, to go into it. And these big colleges are basically saying, if that's the case, little guy, you over there, David, not Goliath. I'm Goliath, you little David. Pony up, baby. If you want to stay involved in this game, it's basically high level racketeering, in a sense, because they basically saying you foot the bill. When you fall on your face, here we go. We're gonna take all your students, because guess what? Little town Oklahoma college of the little guys, they go down. Guess where they got to go? They got to go somewhere. If you want to stay in college, you got to go to Oklahoma State. You can't go to the little guy anymore. It seems that Stricky, he throw his tinfoil hat on.
That's high level bullying, is what you call it.
It's
Go
the
ahead,
highest
Harrison.
level. Yeah, it's the highest level form of bullying. I keep summing this up. It drives me crazy. This is gross and diabolical. It really is. I mean, what this is they tracked about 90% of the money, how they got to this $2.8 billion. About 90% of that $2.8 billion is coming from money that was in Power 5 men's basketball and football. So that's where 90% of that money is going to go to. Okay, with that being said, it would make sense that 10% would be the other 27 conferences, since 90% is going to go to those Power 5 athletes. Instead, what the NCAA and what the Power 5 schools and what they've always done, let's talk to each other and let's leave everybody else out of it, because they're going to adjust to us. And they really are just kind of pulling the wool over their eyes. They came to this settlement. They sent it in before those other 27 conferences could even have a word
at it.
Yeah, so we're talking the NCAA, roughly, they're going to cough up 40% to cover it. Now, out of that next 60, which that other 60, we're still talking over $1 billion. That's where they're splitting that other 60 into the other 27 into the Power 5. So the Power 5, even though they owe 90% of that money is going to the Power 5 athletes, they're going to take 40% of that, and the other 27 conferences are going to take 60% of that. It makes no sense. So, yeah, your Georgia Southerns, your Ohio Valley schools, your SWAC, they're going to drown. They're absolutely not going to be able to afford X amount of millions of dollars every year out of their pockets. Now, the big schools, they could have done it. They could have found a way. But like Strickland said, that's kind of hard to sell to the boosters. I'm going to tell these boosters, send in all this money just for it to go right out the door to past players that it's not going to help bring in a new stadium right away. They're just essentially paying off debt. That's a tougher sell to bring in boosters if you want to have the nicest, newest stadium, best uniforms. So in a long way, it's just gross. It's stiff-arming those other 27 conferences, doing the dirty work before they have a chance to really get their award in there. And
no Diddy.
Yeah, they're going to have to – no Diddy. They're going to have to front most of this bill, and they absolutely shouldn't have to. Should be 10% at the most. It's 60. They're going to have to find a way to cough up over $1 billion the way this is going down right now.
Take that. That's basically, in essence, we talk facts. WTF, baby. In essence, that's what they saying to the little guy. They basically say, take that.
Listen, I don't know what to say to that, man.
We are on the airwaves. We're not streaming only today. So,
I mean, poor Diddy, man.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
How did Diddy's name become part of the college football discussion? That's all I'm saying. Listen, all I'm saying is, there's a lot of people out there that go through hard times where it just goes to tell you, when you are famous, the egregious level just magnifies by 10, even though we've, now I'm kind of transitioning a little bit, even though we've we've seen a lot worse happen. You turn on the news, you see a lot worse happen. And not to say, and obviously I don't condone what Diddy did, but I see way more egregious thing that happened. But the fact that he's famous, it just makes it that much more worse. But so anyway, we can get into that.
I think we will.
I think we're gonna throw it to break because no Diddy, no doubt. It's We Talk Facts. We getting out of here. We're gonna come back with a little break, and we're gonna talk some more facts when we come back on the other side. 937 The Ticket.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Spring in Nebraska brings green grass and warmer weather, but it also brings severe storms which can cause damage to your home. Meadowlark Exterior specializes in hail, storm, and wind damage restoration, as well as roofing, siding, and gutters for commercial or residential buildings. Meadowlark Exteriors focuses on fine craftsmanship and proves that in their attention to detail. They offer free roof inspections and estimates and insurance claim assistance, serving the Lincoln and Omaha surrounding areas. Call today at 402-875-2956 or go to meadowlarkexteriors.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Summertime is here. Now through May 26th, enjoy USDA Choice Whole Beef Brisket for $3.99 per pound, all-natural bone-in pork shoulder for $1.88 per pound, 8-ounce USDA Choice New York strip steaks for $6.99 each, and Frito-Lay party-sized chips for $3.88 as a congrats to all 2024 graduates. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Hey Nebraska! Register today for the 40th Annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to cornhuskerstategames.com. Advocating for physicians in the health of all Nebraskans, Nebraska Medical Association, a proud platinum partner of the Cornhusker State Games.
In a world where businesses are facing daily cyber threats, you need protection like never before. Don't let hackers and malware companies compromise your business success. Stay ahead of data breaches with Hamilton Cybersecurity. Let Hamilton provide you with peace of mind that your business is protected. Our experts identify and mitigate risks before they become disasters. As your trusted partner, we help you protect your valuable information. Hire your local cybersecurity experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Back to We Talk Facts on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Strick and Clester.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what it is. We Talk Facts, WTF. We are here. It is off to a great start. Great topics of discussion are in effect. Clester Johnson, Trez Vance Street, the original Tank is in the building. East Strick. You can find us both on X. You see where you can find us, but it's right here on Thursday nights. Now that the Supernovas is over, you're going to see us on a regular, you're going to get a regular diet of We Talk Facts. It has been exciting so far. Clester Johnson, where are we going right now, my boy?
You know, while we were talking backstage, I wanted to show everybody my 18, a shirt that I've had since college. We all got these black 18s when my man, rest in peace, Brooke Behringer, died. You know, how time flies, man. My man died when he was 22. You know, I always think about how when you die young, you don't get to experience life. I always wonder, you know, what he would be like right now. You know, would he have a family? Would he have kids? You know, it's always sad when you die young and unexpectedly. But anyway, so that's my meaning for this shirt tonight. But anyway, where are we going next, Rick? Where you want to take me? Because where I think you want to take me is you know, this is one of those subjects where people, you know, it's a very polarizing subject, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It affects relationships all across the world. I mean, this is just not a U.S. conversation. I mean, this is a worldwide conversation. And
yeah.
You know, go ahead and set it off. And
well,
you set you light the firecracker, and you know, I'll pop.
Well, here's the deal. It you know, I'll just lay the groundwork of this of the topic because Nebraska volleyball is, you know, like I said, we just saw the Supernovas take care of business, win their first championship, coming off of a great college volleyball session, coming off a historic moment for the University of Nebraska women's volleyball, setting the world record or the Guinness Book record, whatever you want to call it, for highest and largest attendance in a volleyball game, set Memorial Stadium on fire. Great game between them and Creighton. And one of the best players on the team, Harper Murray, had a significant impact in the success of the women's volleyball team. Now, the issue comes now that listen, Clester and I have both been collegiate athletes. We talked about a story where, you know, my whole college career and career period could have been changed by one mistake I made being at a college party where it ends up, the police end up coming, and I had to go in there. I just told the truth. I just told the police officer, I said, sir, my name is Erick Strickland. I'm 18 years old. I should be here. And the guy let me go. I mean, my whole situation could have changed. Harper Murray was not blessed to necessarily be in that situation, comes up with a DUI. But to compound that, now you have the DUI situation. Obviously, people make a mistake. I mean, we've learned lessons from those. Hopefully she corrects that. But then you come up with a shoplifting situation. So here's the story. 402-464-5685. We talk facts. Now we just want to dig into it. You can agree or disagree, and this is not necessarily an agree or disagree topic. It's just a topic that just makes you say, makes you kind of think a little bit. So ultimately, Harper ends up also with a shoplifting situation where we don't know the full details on how that is. You know, maybe they're there, maybe they're not. I don't know the full details. So I'm just going to say, you know, allegedly there's been some shoplifting situation with Harper Murray as well. The issue becomes, we've had people like, a lot of people came down hard on Lawrence Phillips. A lot of people come down hard on other athletes. The young man that was dealing with some mental issues that was on the football team just recently from Georgia. What was his name?
Harrison. Do you
Harrison, know? You know? The man, the young man that came here from Erick something. Erick, but spelled weird with an A.
He robbed a liquor store or something like that.
Erick Gilbert? Is it Erick? 402-464-56.
You got it right. It's Gilbert.
Erick Gilbert. Mm-hmm. Okay. And a lot of people came down hard on the young man. He was dealing with some mental issues. Yes. Wrong. Similar, you know, just into some, you know, felonious type situation. But here's the deal. I just want to know personally, is there a double standard? Do women get away with stuff, and is there a little bit more grace on the side of women than there are men? Is there a double standard, especially in the athletic forum potentially? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Of course there is.
Okay, break it down. Tell me.
I'll say that.
Let's go.
You know, I want to say this. Traditionally, men tend to be knuckleheads, especially around that time of your life. We can be very mischievous. You know, some are very, you know, grimy. You know, to add a little bit more spice to it, you know, we can be grimy. And I'm, you know, obviously I'm talking from experience. I'm talking from being there. I'm talking from being in the environment. I've seen it all, right? But it's very rare that you see a woman who is getting in trouble and it makes the news.
National, yeah, the head news, yeah.
So it puts you in a very weird space, and when you don't traditionally see it, it gives you cause to pause. It makes you wonder what's going on. You know, you may want to, you think about her mental health more. You think about, you know, what's going on with the family. You know, with women, sometimes you tend to investigate a little bit more to find out what's going on. Not to say that it doesn't happen with men, but I do feel there's probably a little bit more grace because, again, you just don't see it happening that much. And when you don't see it happen like that, there's instantly, to me, and I'm just saying this is my opinion, instantly there's a light bulb that goes, can we dig deeper? Let's dig deeper into this and see what's going on, because this is not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas with the men, it's like, throw him away, you know?
Like they went nuts on Brandon Miller, like the Brandon Miller situation, you know,
just rid of him, you know,
the Alabama, you know, and I appreciate Tom Osborne for that. Go ahead.
You know, I'm just saying, whereas people are not as apt to have a more grace for that situation. You know, some people versus throw them away. You know, maybe we may have to take a step back and go, hell, let's do some investigating before we decide to give them the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? Of you're out of here, because what Coach Osborne used to try to do is he knew that football and sports was an integral part of our lives. Whatever sport we were doing, it was an integral part. And to just take it away and throw a person away and send them back home, well, that can really throw you into a tailspin. Now, I know that not everybody's going to do right. And there are some people that have had multiple opportunities. And then after a while, it's like, you know what, can't get right.
Like Josh Gordon's situation, for example.
You know, there's some people out there that just can't get right now. For that person, all right, there's no grace for that person, because you are showing that no matter what we do to try to help you, you don't want to help yourself, right? So, again, I just hope that, especially when it comes to these athletes, that it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, that we stop for a minute and think about, you know, what might be going on with this young adult at the time, because they're not kids. You know, most of them are young adults at this time, and we just need to figure out what they might be going through. You know, because I've been there, you've been there, and I'm gonna tell you what, that's a very, very trying time during your life. You know, trying to be a student athlete, trying to go to school, trying to play a sport, and then try to juggle your personal life. And here, most of us are all just coming from the tutelage of our parents, and now we're trying to become an adult. And sometimes during those times when you used to have people watching over you, you're making bad decisions. So, can't hear you, Strick. You're on mute.
Yeah, you know, got that background, so I try to put it on. But shout out to unnamed texter 4424. He says this. He's throwing this back at us. He says, absolutely. He said, but look. And I think in some instances, it could be not necessarily case by case, but I think that is true, but I also think it's country by country. Like, there's just certain things you can't do in certain countries. Like, I wouldn't go to Saudi Arabia and think to do, you know, nothing of the sort of what you could probably do here, right? It's just, you probably want to look into those type of things when you do definitely go out of the country. But here's what the unnamed texter says, and then we're going to go to break. He says, absolutely, but look, in the case of Brittany Griner, she wasn't able to pull the female card. So it's case to case, but for sure in life, women seem to get a pass. So he or she in a sense agrees to some extent as it being a case by case. You agree with that? Depends on who it is. Like, it's a who it is or where it happens. Because sometimes in the United States, it can depend on what city or what state it happens in, you know, could change the dynamic as to how well you get off.
You know, when I was talking, I was more referencing more of a U.S. stance on things, but yeah. You are absolutely right. And this caller is right. This texter is right. Places like Dubai and, you know, places like Russia, Saudi Arabia, they don't play that stuff. They have a whole different rule system. And it doesn't matter if you are male or female. I just saw there's a travel advisory to Turks and Caicos. There's been 5 Americans arrested over these last few weeks. The latest one, this lady who's arrested can face 12 years. They found 2 bullets in her suitcase, 2 loose bullets. And she's saying, listen, I didn't realize it was in there, but they're like, you're bringing in ammunition into our country, and that's 12 years. No negotiations. So I want everybody
homie, don't play that.
I want everybody to look that up. There's a female, Turks and Caicos. She's facing 12 years due to 2 loose bullets. So you're right. In other countries, it's a different thing. They don't play that. But here in the U.S., we have a little bit more grace.
Shoot. Okay. Well, shoot. Let's come back and talk about another possible controversial subject. We're going to deal with the P. Diddy Cassie situation, and there's been some information that's come out regarding that. There's been a response by Cassie. So we're going to definitely just kind of talk about it as we close out on this evening of We Talk Facts WTF. We'll be right back. Right, this 937 Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It'll be breezy too, with an afternoon high around 82. Tonight, showers and storms will likely, some which could be severe. See a low around 57. And tomorrow, showers and storms possible in the morning, mainly sunny and breezy, the high around 72. Meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, did you see that? Did you see that?
Here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off. Mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934. HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Spring in Nebraska brings green grass and warmer weather, but it also brings severe storms, which can cause damage to your home. Meadowlark Exterior specializes in hail, storm, and wind damage restoration, as well as roofing, siding, and gutters for commercial or residential buildings. Meadowlark Exteriors focuses on fine craftsmanship and proves that in their attention to detail. They offer free roof inspections and estimates and insurance claim assistance, serving the Lincoln and Omaha surrounding areas. Call today at 402-875-2956 or go to meadowlarkexteriors.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Do you need motivation to get to the gym on the weekend or even in general? Tune into the Movement Hour each Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. Movement Academy owner Robert Kuhlman will host the show as he introduces new ways to stay in shape. The Movement Hour every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, fellas. Girl Jordan with Sartor Haven Jewelry. When it comes to gift giving, it's all about the wow.
There's been guys.
And let me tell you, nothing wows quite like jewelry. Whether it's a delicate necklace or a statement ring, jewelry makes the right statement. So if you want to knock her socks off, or anything else for that matter, skip the generic gifts and go straight for the bling. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Haven Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Hi, it's Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it's truck month at Koppel, and we want to sell them all. Choose between 0.9% APR or as much as $8,000 off list price. Yes, you heard right. That's 0.9% APR or as much as $8,000 off list on select new GMC and Chevrolet inventory. So please make that money-saving drive to Koppel in Louisville or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Your sprinklers are watering the street or flooding your backyard. If you're on a list that doesn't exist, it's time for Judson Irrigation. At Judson Irrigation, Lee or Lacey or Judson will make an appointment. You pick the time and they'll be there to fix your sprinkler system. Now that's service, a dying art these days.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Hey, Nebraska! Register today for the 40th Annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to cornhuskerstategames.com. Advocating for physicians in the health of all Nebraskans, Nebraska Medical Association, a proud platinum partner of the Cornhusker State Games.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hey, he looked as advertised. He looked really good in the spring game. And because of that, we're going back to a bowl game this year, is what Husker fans are telling them. So I think the fans have a more realistic perspective, and I think this coaching staff has done a really good job of handling Dylan Raiola and the expectations around him.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to We Talk Facts on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Strick and Clester.
Yes, final segment here on WTF We Talk Facts. We're going to talk about something, and we're not going to be able to dig into it in depth, but because it really just gets down to the heart of the matter and what it is for you and what that means. Me being biblically inclined, sometimes I take forgiveness and I offer it to all. But there are things that probably, if someone did something to my daughter or somebody did something to my family, I might have to think about that. Like, man, hey, it depends on also what. And that's where we find ourselves today in this last segment, because we're going to talk about Cassie and Diddy. Cassie has responded. We won't get into what the response is at this particular time, because I want to take Clester to a specific spot in this discussion. Clester, we've seen high-profile athletes. We've seen actors and actresses. We've seen, just people in politics. We've seen a lot of different people all across the board have ultimately had some, high ascensions. Stuff comes out and they have some hard falls. And what is it to you or to those who are listening? We want to know from you as well. 402-464-5685. What is the point of no return in forgiveness? What does it involve? Does it involve, dealing with abuse? Does it involve a heinous crime of rape, murder? Is there something that just says, you know what, hands off, cancel culture, you're out of here, I don't want nothing to hear it? Because we've seen Michael Vick, we've seen guys like him, we've seen guys like Kobe Bryant, we've seen guys, in other sports. Obviously, Brittany Griner, has been given grace and has been able to come back and play the game. We've seen bans. People got banned, i.e. Pete Rose. Like, no grace for Pete Rose. So what is it? What is the final, stopgap to you who are listening and to Clester? Like, what is that? Because we got to get out of here. I'm going to let you finish, though.
I'm going to say, number one, likability level.
Okay.
Time. And how you respond to the quote-unquote crime. Because one of the things, particularly about what's going on with Diddy, no one liked his apology. It didn't seem to be genuine. It didn't seem to be of concern to the person that it affected. And you have to be very, very careful about how you handle these situations. And I think I've heard this a lot, that whoever is handling his PR has not done a very good job. And I can see the fact that he's very well off. Sometimes you mentally get to a level where you've been God. You've been able to do whatever you want. You've been able to get away what you want. And you just surround yourself. Everybody becomes yes men around you. And everybody's afraid to tell you the truth. And I think he might be, and we're speculating because we don't know we don't know Diddy, we don't know Cass, we don't know anybody who's going through these issues. But just my speculation is that, you know, he's been able to get away with a lot of stuff, obviously through his career. And he probably has also believed that, well, I could just get online and talk and people are going to believe me. They're going to, you know, I'm Diddy. You know, people are going to believe me. I'm Diddy. I could say whatever because I've been able to get away with a numerous thing. Listen, we don't even have enough show to talk about a lot of the incidences that he's been in and have gotten out of. But again, for me, it's, are you a likable person? Do people actually believe you with things that you're saying? And then again, it's time. You know, our world is full of news stories, and you know, in 2 weeks, will we even be talking about Diddy and again? You know, so things just evolve so fast. I mean, just a week ago, we were talking about Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Like, nobody's talking about that no more, right? So to me, it's just about time. It's about time. You know, how do you ingratiate yourself to abuse women? You know, are you going to get involved? You're going to donate? You know, like Michael Vick, he really got involved with, you know, animal shelters and helping animals. So he really showed some remorse. I think that really helped him kind of get back into the good graces of the people, because he was really able to show that, you know, hey, listen, I didn't realize what I did was such a huge deal, but now I understand the severity of what I did. And listen, I'm truly sorry for what I did. I was messed up, you know, but now I know better. So
there it is. That ends another phenomenal session of WTF We Talk Facts. Listeners, we appreciate you. We're grateful for you. Thank you for tapping in with us on Thursdays. We'll be back next week. Special guest next week, number 26, Husker, running back legend out of North High School. Quentin Childs is going to be joining us on WTF
in studio.
In studio. We'll be in the building. We'll see you next week. WTF Facts. We out of here.